Okay, this is the second podcast for the syllabus for Introduction to the New Testament Theology. And so just here we're going to cover some of the general policies for the course. In the syllabus, you'll find a statement for our Americans with Disabilities Act. So in other words, if you do have any kind of disabilities I need to be made aware of that will make it difficult for you to complete this course, you need to let me know. And then we do have somebody on campus who can help document the disabilities in order for us then to give some kind of either extensions or to make some other kind of accommodations for assignments to be done in a different way. So please just contact Katie Roble. Her office extension is there. So again, like all numbers here, area code 405 425, and then it's 1876. As far as the etiquette, online etiquette here, since we do have online interactive discussions, students are expected to treat one another with courtesy and respect. I will not tolerate inflammatory or incendiary posts, and students should always kind of engage in the way in which they would want to be treated. I will allow work to be turned in late. I take late work up to 7 days. However, I do take 5% off for each day that is late up to 7 days. Now, you should not automatically expect that you can turn in work late, but if you believe that there are some circumstances that's going to require you to turn work in late, please let me know first so that I can deal with it and we can make other arrangements. Of course, we strongly discourage plagiarism, and we want to make sure that you're doing your own work, and so you shouldn't be presenting as your own work something that you have lifted off from some other paper. You shouldn't be taking whole statements, quotes, passages without giving credit to the source. So make sure you always cite your sources, and just don't use other people's research or work without giving them credit. So in other words, just use your own voice, provide your own words, but certainly it's certainly acceptable to quote others, but to use other resources. We certainly want to encourage that, but make sure you always give credit to it. We do expect honesty here, in that you do your own work, but however, unfortunately, you do engage in some activities. There is a procedure that is in place, and the policy kind of outlines what we do when we find a case when someone is behaving dishonestly. Since this is an online course, the inclement weather policy that we have for our standard courses doesn't really apply. But if there is some very unusual circumstance where the student occurs, maybe some kind of terrible weather-related situation that makes it impossible for you to have internet access, or for you to have electricity, or some kind of catastrophic activity with a hurricane or an earthquake or something like that, or with especially if that causes some kind of injury to you, just let us know and we'll try to make accommodations for you. Also, we list here places where you can get extra help if you need it. We do have a Student Success Center that's there to help students work through the things that may be difficult for them. We also have librarians that will be helpful. We particularly also have a theological librarian, and so you can contact our library and they can help you to get find the sources that you might need, or kind of walk you through the research process. Of course, if there's any technical problems that you have that you think may be kind of responsible on our end, that is the university's end, we do have an information technology center, and you can call them and let them know what technical difficulties you are having in working with our system here. Of course, we have a policy against harassments and discrimination, and so we, again, do not tolerate people harassing others. We don't tolerate people using inflammatory language against others. And if you do feel like someone in the course is treating you in a way that is harassing you or discriminating you in some way, we have a process by which you can deal with that complaint. And so we list here then our different coordinators and their telephone numbers and their emails, and you can reach out to them and let them know. Probably our Title IX coordinator, which is Ms. Tammy Willis, is the one you probably want to contact and let her know what's going on. We also have some other areas that can provide some resources or some support to the students. We have a counseling center. We also have a clinic if that's something that you would need. And there are the numbers to access those individuals and services. I also have a copyright policy here, and that just is for the sake of this material is copyrighted, so you're not allowed to take my PowerPoint notes, you're not allowed to take any of the information I provide and reproduce it or sell it in some other way without my permission. So anyway, that's that policy. And the last thing in the syllabus you'll find is the schedule. I also will have in course content another document where the schedule is found, so it can be easier for you to navigate. But it basically outlines what will happen through the 8 weeks. So each week there's a different module that you will complete. Each module or unit has different activities. So for instance, in the first week, you'll in Unit 1, you will listen to the introduction to the course. You'll listen to the introduction to primary sources, methodologies, what is New Testament theology. So you listen to those podcasts. You, of course, should be reading during this week. There is a quiz that you will take, and there will be an online interactive discussion you'll get involved in. And so, again, you just go to the module, go to that unit, and there are instructions each week about what you will do. So if you'll just follow the schedule, then hopefully everything should kind of run smoothly. You'll know what is expected to you. And usually the deadline for everything is by the end of the day on Sunday. So, a new week begins Monday morning, and you work on all of this, and by the end of Sunday night, Central Standard Time, you should have everything completed, and then can move on for the next week. Of course, if there's anything about the schedule or anything else about the rest of the syllabus that is of concern to you or questionable and you want to ask about it, please just make sure that you contact me. I'll try to address any questions or concerns that you might have.